what kind of cooperation it is and what are you going to build for the railways?
Help the government agenda on modernizing the railway sector in India.
That's a new idea. Not many ropeways we have seen in India. So any venturing there?
Yes, ropeways are very good, a good way of transport. For the time being, I know that Varanasi is the model, but I think there will be other cities to follow.
So sir, after this free trade agreement, EFTA and EPA, how do you see the trajectory of our bilateral trade?
We have it's a win-win partnership, we always call it. India facilitates our investments, EFTA investments, and we promote them. So if we meet facilitation and promotion, we will get to new figures.
Another issue, sir, which is right now a big world headache is tariff.
This is a concern, obviously. Switzerland has also very high tariffs at the moment with 39%. India is a huge priority in our diversification strategy.
Incumbent government is pushing in a big way the Make in India.
And if they want to invest in India, then they mean also make in India and make in India for India, I could imagine, or make in India for the world. But that's certainly an intention, otherwise they would not have traveled here.
Any numbers or any breakdown you can give that where do you see the trade going now?
Investments, 100 billion, and jobs, 1 million over the next 15 years.
In fact, Trump has once called it a dead economy. Do you agree with this?
Not at all, not at all. Otherwise we would not be here. Coming along here with 30 companies is a proof that our private sector believes in this partnership.
Mr. Martin, thank you so much for joining ANI today for this very important interview. Mr. Martin is in charge of policy and responsible for key economic policies. So you are here with a big delegation, I believe, and a lot of interaction is happening with the leadership here. So give us a sense, how is it going and what is the agenda of your meetings?
Well, I'm here with a big delegation of Swiss mobility companies. They're all prime and stellar in what they are doing in the field of mobility. And we have been meeting this morning with the Railway Board of India, which was a highly interesting and interactive meeting. And we have this afternoon, we have speed dating, so to say, in the mobility sector with mobility companies which came along from Switzerland and interested parties in India.
So can you break us down that what kind of agreements you're looking at, and are you going to be contributing, are the Swiss companies going to be contributing to railways, ropeways and tunnels and all these kind of structures here?
Definitely. Well, I have to maybe start with the bigger frame. I mean, we just only entered into force our free trade agreement between EFTA and India, and Switzerland being part of EFTA, of course, being very interested. We have a objective for investments under that TEPA agreement, and we count on India to facilitate, and India counts on Switzerland to promote investments. So this visit here of these 2-3 days is inserting itself very much into that agenda. Now, concrete deals, I hope this afternoon, concrete deals will be struck between the Swiss companies here and the interested partners in India. From what I can see from the discussions we had this morning with the Railway Board, interest is big because Switzerland is big in railways and India is big in railways, of course much bigger in terms of volume, and very interested to move on it as well.
So when you say Swiss companies are going to cooperate, what kind of cooperation it is and what are you going to build for the railways? What value will you add?
Well, I think first and foremost help the government agenda on modernizing the railway sector in India, because we have a lot of experience. We could take us a little bit as a laboratory. What works in Switzerland might also work here. We are also a railway. We are a railway nation as India is. Smaller, but still we are a railway nation as well. So what we would bring here is our experience in it, for instance, in rail security, signaling, crossings. If you have roads crossing railways, a lot is happening there. Lots of accidents are happening. You can automatize certain things. You can bring a lot of security in that. Rolling stock probably too, monitoring, and in general also fine machinery which helps, which has to be also used in the railway sector. And these are things where I think we can bring in knowledge.
Secretary, you said that like Switzerland, India is a railways country, but the size of the population here is really big, and we have actually seen lot of loopholes in our railways. So, had Switzerland dealt with countries with big populations like India, like China? Have you worked? What's the experience in the past with the railways?
Well, I think our railway sector is quite experienced also in worldwide projects. And we have been working in Turkey, we have been working in many countries of the world. And I think we have a lot of experience in that, also for India. And India can scale it, you know. Sometimes you can try it at a smaller scale, and then you can bring it up to a bigger scale.
So, any specifics can you give that what states, what areas particularly you are looking at the railways?
Well, one very concrete example of this morning was, for instance, railway fastness. You know, if you want high-speed trains, you need good rails. If you want good rails, you need to have them fixed in a proper way. Fixing rails seems to be very, very easy. It is not. And if you want to be sure that there is no tolerance so that the trains are not derailing, then you need proper products. And that we can bring here, for instance. We are good in that. You have a lot of that in your own country as well, but I think it can be improved.
It will be high end.
Yes, it should be high-end, because if you want high-end transportation, you need high-end components, including rolling stock, obviously, too. But if you start from the bottom, it starts also on the rails.
So do you think this is going to help in a big way in modernizing our system?
I'm very sure it will. I'm very sure it will. Not only these rail fasteners, that's one element, but if you talk about railway crossings, for instance, if you want to avoid casualties and accidents, etc., and a proper and secure and reliable system of warning, then you need certain automation, and you need to have certain tools in place which are not there yet. You have 17 or 18,000 crossings, for instance, in India, and the human factor.
Massive accidents have been reported.
Yes, and the human factor always plays a role too. I'm not saying that people are not doing the job right. But still, you can get tired, you can miss out on something, whatever. When it's too manual nowadays, it can be risky. So I think a certain automation there can help and will help for sure.
So is this the first time Swiss is cooperating in this sector?
No, not at all. I think there has been a long-standing cooperation in the railway sector in various fields already before. But it's also about trying to deepen that cooperation now and to go ahead.
Sir, another area of infrastructure is the ropeways. That's a new idea. Not many ropeways we have seen in India.
Mm-hmm.
So any venturing there?
Yes, ropeways are very good, a good way of transport. And you might know that in Varanasi, for instance, the Swiss company Barthollet is at the moment constructing ropeways. And we have seen that in other countries in the world. Ropeways, they are not only touristic. In Switzerland, we have ropeways for tourism. But in other countries of the world, you have ropeways for transport proper.
I think a lot of people will be happy if you build ropeways in Delhi, because traffic is so bad.
Yes, look, that is then up to the priorities to be set by the Delhi authorities or the Indian authorities. But I can promise you, ropeways work elsewhere, and they do a huge job. We have experience from other countries.
Any other cities you're targeting?
Well, for the time being, I know that Varanasi is the model. But I think there will be other cities to follow and other places.
When I was researching for this interview, I also heard that a lot of tunnel technology is also your expertise.
Yes.
So how do you operate in that?
Well, I think, again, a lot of similarities between the two countries, Switzerland and India. We have a lot of mountains, lots of hills. You have the same. And so we gained a lot of experience in drilling tunnels and drilling them well. And depending on the stone you find in a mountain, you can't quite know what you will meet. So you have to explore and to be sure what tools you will use. And on that side, we can be of a high benefit. And we have also a company with us here who is dealing with that and talking with your authorities about that.
So, sir, after this free trade agreement, EFTA and TIPA, how do you see the trajectory of our bilateral trade?
I'm sure that our bilateral trade will further enhance and will even grow. And I'm also very happy that it's a very comprehensive agreement, which includes also investments. And it's a win-win partnership, we always call it. India facilitates our investments, EFTA investments, and we promote them. So if we meet facilitation and promotion, we will get to new figures not seen in the past. I'm very sure that we are moving ahead.
So, sir, are you seeing green shoots in private sector more or more in the government and private Swiss companies?
Well, I think that there are various ways of how you can work. You know, it can be that the government can also give out a task to the private sector. I think in the railway sector, taking from our experience, you have to be probably a bit careful how much you can privatize and how much you should keep in the public hand, because it's an old infrastructure that costs a lot. But then there are within that system lots of possibilities to give packages out to the private sector and maybe to modernize certain things. And there, I think public-private partnerships come into play, which can be very promising and useful.
Another issue, sir, which is right now a big world headache is tariff. What is your take on tariff, and how are you dealing with it? Because I think we have one of the highest tariffs imposed on us by the United States. So
yeah, I know this is a concern. Obviously, Switzerland has also very high tariffs at the moment with 39%. That's certainly a challenge. At the same time, it's an opportunity, because what we are trying, or what we are doing and have been doing over the years, is diversifying markets. India is a huge priority in our diversification strategy, but we also go to other places, Mercosur, for instance, in Latin America, and other countries, or we modernize agreements in existence. And so the one now with India is for us a huge opportunity, first and foremost. And given our ambitions we have in it, our big ambitions, yes, but good ambitions, I'm very, very sure we have a good future.
Sir, our incumbent government is pushing in a big way the Make in India, like they want foreign companies to come and make here. So in this context, are there any talks going on in some joint development of projects here?
Definitely. I mean, all these, or many of the participants of my delegation, they are here because they also want to invest in India. And if they want to invest in India, then they mean also make in India, and make in India for India, I could imagine, or make in India for the world. I don't know the strategies of each individual company, but that's certainly an intention. Otherwise, they would not have traveled here.
So, sir, in the end, I would like to ask you that any numbers or any breakdown you can give, that where do you see the trade going now, and what percentage you are aiming at?
Well, we do not, it's a bit difficult to put a percentage or a figure to an intention. The only figures we have placed in our TEPA, for instance, is investments, 100 billion, and jobs, 1 million over the next 15 years, as an aspiration. And that brings along a lot of trade, first and foremost, as well, but a lot of investments as well.
So some of the critics say that India is not a great place to invest right now. In fact, Trump has once called it a dead economy. Do you agree with this?
Not at all, not at all. Otherwise, we would not be here, because I see this for Swiss size and volumes. I would say that coming along here with 30 companies is a proof that our private sector believes in this partnership, in the Swiss-Indian partnership. Otherwise, they wouldn't have traveled. They're very smart people. They are private sector people. They can go all over the world, but they come here because they see we have a good place to
So
work.
you see a good growth in India?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm very confident that we will move ahead together. Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to us, sir. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure.